Been crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Queerest of the queer, lamest of the lame. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is episode 790, the Two Dumb Yins. I want to say this morning to everybody, welcome back. Great to see everybody on the board this morning. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Tortilla. And even good morning to Derpy, I see on the board. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is Mike there. Back to camp today for a 155 start, and I do want to make a revision, Mike. The inner squad practice game is Thursday, not Wednesday. I don't know why I kept saying the thing was I had the correct date written in front of me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just kept saying the wrong day. So Thursday is the inner squad practice between the Buccaneers and the Steelers. I imagine they're probably going to be in town beyond that. Talking about the Buccaneers, Mike, you figure being here Thursday and then playing Saturday, maybe you might see Mr. Mayfield walking around downtown or somewhere in the city area, Mike. But that was a revision I did want to throw out there, guys. Thursday is the inner squad practice. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. One really cool thing that I seen, Mike, over the weekend here in town that was really cool, actually. Now, whether you like this band or not, I'm not necessarily a big fan, but the All-American Rejects, did you see this? They did a pop-up concert at a local Sheetz. I just think that's the coolest thing. That is... What's going on? Hold on. Before I go any further, what's up with your earphones anyway? Why does that thing constantly pop out of your earphone?
Because it's loose.
Okay, that's what's going on. You're not taking it out all the time?
I don't take it out. No, it's just like I'll bump something on the cord and it falls out, brother.
Okay. I wonder because you're constantly going to that and putting it in your earphones. And okay. Well, maybe we'll get you some. We'll get you a Christmas present, maybe.
Hell yeah, brother.
But it's like such a 90s thing that I thought this was so cool. Again, local Sheetz here in Pittsburgh. the All-American Rejects, they just show up and do a concert in the parking lot of Sheetz. Again, it takes me back to the 90s. This isn't something that you see nowadays. It's certainly not around here, but I thought that was so cool, man. What if you would, I don't know, who's your band? Who's some weirdo band you like, Metallica? What if you went down to the local Sheetz like a Metallica? There was Lars Ulrich up on the stage and James Hetfield. I mean, you'd shit yourself, right?
I'd be pissed because I want to go in. I want to get my gas. I want to get my Monster, and I want to get to work.
Why do you always have to be the difficult one? You can't ever enjoy anything.
Because
it rubs off on me, I think, and then I get a bad attitude, and then you get mad at me.
It just feels like an inconvenience to me.
Mike, out of nowhere, once in a million years, this band shows up out of nowhere and plays at a fucking Sheetz
Go
party.
to a dive bar. Go to a dive bar. Don't go to
that's what makes this unique. It was a pop-up concert.
No.
Yeah.
No, I would not be a fan.
And everybody wonders where I get my mood.
I know, right?
I can't enjoy a conversation. Mike, there was a really cool pop-up concert.
Like if that's your thing, it's cool. But
a popular band pops up out of nowhere and does a concert. Like if it was 50 Cent, you wouldn't complain. I guarantee you wouldn't complain.
I would complain. I like 50. Come on, man. I'm trying to get my shit here. Come on, bro.
No.
Don't get shot 10 times now, Fitty. Come on now. I want to get through here.
Yeah. Do you see?
If it was Snoop and Willie Nelson doing a joint one, see what I did there? I would be all for it.
Now, see, I'm not buying it because again, all these.
No, I'd still be pissed. I'd still be pissed.
You're the most miserable person I've ever known.
No, I'm not. Usually, I'm a happy-go-lucky fun guy, but when I saw this, I'm like,
you're not happy. You don't go, and you're not lucky. That is nothing a part of that is.
I know. We know I'm not lucky after that. Truck stop sushi.
And we'll get more into that later because there was actually no sushi involved, but Mike did shit himself entirely over the weekend with shit all the way up his back like a child.
On the it made it out of my clothes.
When you grab a baby, when you're changing a baby, you grab his feet and you lift it up and you wipe underneath his back. That's what we had to do to Mike. We had him with his feet propped up in the air. It was something you don't want to see. Believe me, you don't want to see this pale face with no pants on, with his feet lifted up in the air. It's devastating. But good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, everybody. I do want to say good morning to Kenneth. I do want to say good morning to Tortilla. Corey, what's up, brother? Everybody on the board, good morning, guys. Before we start, Mike, I thought this was kind of a funny story because
well, I'll be the judge of that, brother. We had a feel-good story earlier.
Mike, this was Myles Garrett gets another speeding ticket. Mike, this is his 8th speeding ticket since he's been with Cleveland Brown. And Mike, this one was over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
At what point are we going to say that this guy is what he is? And he's kind of a menace, isn't he? Again, I mean, come on, you go get 8 speeding tickets. Let me ask you if you still have your license, by the end of number 8, Mike. And again, you could always go back as far as saying the assault on the field. Like, this guy's a menace. Why do people treat this guy like he is, let's put his face on everything in the NFL. This guy is the defensive player, blah, blah, blah. Mike, I'm not buying the Myles Garrett shit anymore. I think that this guy's a menace.
Because he's doing what Cam Heyward does. Work the media and flash the pearly whites, baby.
Let me ask you, if TJ Watt had 8 speeding tickets and he insulted a guy on the field, I mean, he would be I just think that it's insane. Again, they still stick Smiles carrots on top of this pedestal. I don't understand what the reasoning is. Again, 8 speeding tickets, Mike, since he's been in Cleveland. This most recent one, over 100 miles an hour. Whatever it is about this cat, I don't know, but you know what? It fits the bill. He's a Cleveland Brown, and it couldn't be better, Mike. And I guess it fits, right?
It fits.
Blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Let's get on the board, Mike. I don't want to miss anybody. And we do got a lot of messages this morning. Jen says, good morning. Tortilla, what's up, brother? Derpy is on the board also. Let me scroll up a little. Corey says, hey, guys, how's it going? I missed the pod yesterday, but how about our backups? The Jag starters struggled big time against our backups. I don't know if that's a credit to us or just how bad Jacksonville really truly is as a team overall.
And you say I'm negative.
No, I mean, come on. So are you telling me that Jacksonville's a good football team from what you've seen over the past 3 years?
To fit my narrative, yeah.
All right, there you go. What's up, Kenneth? Good morning on the board. Always great seeing Kenneth on the board. He's not Luck. He's Vanilla Thunder. No, he's Paleface. Look at him.
Right.
Truck stop sushi. He got pulled over for almost going to speed limit. Obviously targeting P. What's up, brother? Always great seeing P on the board. My man. Tortillas says NFL probably pays his tickets. I don't know what's going on. And again, I don't really care, to be honest with you. But you see, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. I mean, you see how that took me a few seconds to get to 8. This is how many speeding tickets that he has since he's been a Cleveland Brown. Can you imagine anybody on the board right now or anybody home listening, if you just got your 8th speeding ticket for going 100 miles an hour? I'm just saying, come on. I'm so over this Smiles carrot. But again, Mike, he fits the Cleveland Browns better than anybody at this point. He might be a menace to society. Also, guys, I do want to revise yesterday's information. The inter-squad practice is Thursday. It is not Wednesday. It is Thursday. I had 14 written down in front of me, and I kept saying Wednesday all day, but it is the 14th, which is Thursday, guys. So they do have 155 practice today, and they will be in Acrisure Stadium with an in-house practice with the Buccaneers on Thursday, just 2 days prior to their game this Saturday. It's 7 o'clock against the Buccaneers. I guess the big topic of the day, Mike, a lot of people are talking about Cam Heyward. Let me grab a couple more of these. Let me grab a couple more messages here, just so we don't get buried. P says Garrett's tickets are funded by the funding the Cleveland Police Department Christmas parties. Always great to see you, P. How you doing, man? Kenneth says, looks like Y.A. Black looks like a young Cam on all of the preseason film. And that kind of goes into what I'm going to talk about a little bit today, Mike, because I don't really have a problem with Y.A. Black playing this season. And you know what? If he has to play a little bit more than he might have to because of a situation, I'm fine with that as well, to be honest with you. We'll get into that in just a moment. Corey says this. He gets passes because the Browns can't afford any more losses. Jen says, great mentoring to the young Brownies. Hey, ain't that the truth? And Kenneth says, looks like Y.A. Black looks like a young Cam on all the preseason film. Yes, he sure does. He looks really good. And again, I thought the upside on this guy where Cam Heyward, I think, he hit his limit. Like last year, I think that was his ceiling. And again, he dropped for a few seasons. We were talking for at least 3 years prior to this about his numbers. He just didn't look the same on the field, Mike, as he did as a younger player. Yes, he is over 30 years old, but you could certainly see where he's become an older person on the football field as well, Mike. At 36 years old, he did overachieve last year, and that's my problem because, again, he overachieved, so now he's making a big deal about his money. What about the years, Mike, where he didn't he kind of underachieved? Well, if it's all, if we're talking all fairness here, why don't you turn around and give the money back that you made that you didn't quite earn then, if this is such the way that you want to, the details goes further than that, Mike, but just on a topical level, why don't the players ever turn around and hand back money when they don't hit those numbers and those things that are written into their contract and they do underachieve? My camera did freeze, but I think that I could fix it on the fly here, so just bear with me for just a moment. And I think that I could get back to there we go.
There you go.
And but again, at the end of the day, you don't exactly see the guys running to throw money back at the team whenever things aren't going how they how you sign a contract. I'm going to give you everything I have. If I don't give you everything that I have, then turn around and give back the money. No, it's not how it works. Dude, get on the football field and let's play. And again, Mike, Y.A. Black, I am perfectly fine with him playing this season. If Cam Heyward decides to sit out and doesn't play for the first 2, 3, 4 games, at this point, I don't care. And on the other hand, we're so ungrateful. Everybody's so ungrateful for Cam Heyward, right? Meanwhile, he's, the guy's getting paid millions of dollars, $131 million, something like this in his career, Mike. And, he's complaining about this. We're over here struggling to buy eggs. And you're going to complain to us that we're ungrateful and the Steelers are ungrateful and the fans are ungrateful for you? No, brother, you made $131+ million in your career. We're struggling to buy eggs. I don't feel for you. Handle your business. Do it behind closed doors. Do it in a timely fashion, not as you're getting on the train to head to Jacksonville to play a football game. I don't feel sorry for Cam Heyward, Mike. I don't. I'm through. You know what? If he goes, we have Y.A. Black, and I'm fine with that. At the end of the day, the guy's going to be 37 by the end of this football season. I have no reason for him. Listen, he's a good guy. He was great for the city. He won the Walter Payton Award. Those are all fantastic things. But at the end of the day, you're here to play football. Either get it figured out or get off the pot. That's my opinion.
Well, the last time we saw Cam Heyward, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson ran 200 yards straight up his bitch ass.
Exactly.
Like Cam, you signed a 3-year deal. You wanted to gamble on yourself, but yet you signed a 3-year deal. If you wanted to gamble on yourself, you would have signed a 1-year deal and hit free agency, and then had the Steelers and the rest of the NFL bidding on you. This was not you gambling on yourself. This was you going, oh my God, I was hurt last year. I don't know if I really have anything left in the tank. I'm going to get this contract and then hopefully have a good year. Then my roster bonus kicks in and I got my guaranteed money. I'll be good to go. That is not gambling on yourself. Gambling on yourself is signing a 1-year deal. And then that's a prove it deal. Like, I'm going to prove it to you. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to hit free agency and get one last big contract. That is betting on yourself. No, this here was you hedging your bets, hoping that the Steelers would cave and give you the contract. And you know the Steelers don't negotiate until you have like 1 year left on your contract, when you're in this next to last year of your contract. That's when the team likes to renegotiate. There's very few, they forced Ben to retire. They forced Troy Polamalu to retire. They let Joey Porter Jr. go.
Troy Polamalu, 33 years old. They shove him out the door. Why are we still playing games with Cam Heyward? Cam Hayward's not a fraction of the player that Troy Polamalu was. He's a great guy. Again, he's a big dude. I liked him on the line. But at the end of the day, what he brought to this team compared to what Troy Polamalu brought to this team are two different worlds. And again, they shoved Troy Polamalu out the door at 33 years old.
Yeah. Troy's play did deteriorate, and they weren't able to hide him the way they did Cam. Cam only played 71% of the snaps last year. It's not like he's playing 85% of the snaps out there a shit ton. He only played 71% of the snaps. And you look at who they drafted, who they have on this team, you can see that they're going to be rotating a lot of guys. So he might only hit 71% again, and you want more money for playing less snaps than you've played your entire career? No, get out of here with that nonsense. Like, you can argue that if they want to break their tradition of negotiating with 2 years left on your deal, Boswell would be the guy because he is legit the best at his position. He won at least 2 or 3 games by himself last year. You can't point to a single game and go, Cam Heyward won us that game by himself. You can to Boswell. Like, it's... I say it all the time. Franco Harris retired to Seattle Seahawk. There's not many guys that are going to be here for 1 year or for their entire career here. The Steelers have historically let guys go when it's towards the end. Like, if you still are able to produce, they reward you for it. And that's what they did with you, Cam. They gave you a 3-year deal because they're like, hey, we're going to give you this money. Yes, it's going to be, if you don't work out, it's going to be beneficial towards us to cut you. But if it works out, it's going to be beneficial for you. They showed you loyalty. They showed you that they still valued you, what you say you want to be valued as. They did that. It's not their fault that your play declined and then you bitched out and signed that contract. If you really were betting on yourself, you would have signed a 1-year deal.
Mike, I think we're being taken granted for. You just expect us to be in the stadium and fill the seats, to put money in your pockets week in, week out. That's taking somebody for granted. Guess what? We're struggling to pay eggs for eggs out here. What if we start having an issue and we don't put the asses in the seats to put the money in your pocket? Yeah. We're the one that's being taken for granted, not you. You're, again, $131 million plus in your career. I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah.
If you're going to go, Cam, bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. You know what? If you're going to hang out on the sideline all season, that's fine too. Give me Y.A. Black. I'm ready to see this young kid play. Mike, he is the future. Cam Heyward is the past. We're just playing games with this guy now at 36 years old. I'm done, Mike. The season starts here in 3 weeks. We got 2 weeks from today. We're down to the 53-man roster. Mike, we have a joint practice on Thursday. Again, a revised information. Yesterday I said Wednesday. I was incorrect. Yeah. The combined practice with the Buccaneers will be Thursday. And then again on Saturday, they will play the Buccaneers. Mike, we were just too close to the season to play this again. If this was something that was being dealt with all off season in timely manner, I don't have a problem with it. He's trying to do his thing. This whole thing just stinks to me. I don't like it, Mike. We're going to be playing in just a few weeks in New York to get this season started. I don't want to play Cam Heyward games at this point, Mike. Again, I like the guy. He's a wonderful person. Believe me, here in Pittsburgh, you've seen many things over your time. His time here with the what he does bring back to the community, he's cooking turkeys at Thanksgiving time. He's handing out presents at Christmas. Come on, we've seen it all. But at the end of the day, we pay you to watch you play football. Give us, and you're taking advantage of us. We're being taken great. You just assume that all this money should be given to you because you were a defensive tackle in the NFL. That's bullshit, dude. That's beyond my area of comprehension, Mike. Again, regular people are out there struggling to buy eggs. Yeah. They're struggling to buy eggs, Mike.
Like, he signed this contract last year. It'd be different if he signed it a few years ago and outperformed the contract and wants to ask for one last final pay raise before you retire. That I would understand, but you signed this contract 11 months ago. Like, that's on you, bro. You redid the contract. You're the one who agreed to it, you and your agent. Like, and then, you're concocting this story that, they laughed at me when I said I was going to be all pro. Like, dude, does anyone honestly believe he signed that contract and goes, I'm going to be an all pro and I'm coming back next year for more money?
And if that's the case, Mike,
why sign that contract?
And if that's the case, why don't you say you're going to be an all pro every year and be that good every year to earn your money, except for whenever it benefits you? Again, Mike, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play the wah. Please come home, Cam. I'm just not going to do it. At this point in the game, again, we have bigger fish to fry. We went out on that football field on Saturday night. We've seen our rookies. We've seen our young players. We've seen Roman Wilson step it up, Mike. I've seen Jack Sawyer make big plays. I've seen Peyton Wilson belly-to-belly suplex a man on the football field. Mike, I am again, Cam Heyward is just, it's out of my area of interest, and this is just frustrating more than anything, is why we are talking about it certain to this level. Mike, again, give me YA Black, put Cam on the side. It does me no difference. Again, as you said, Mike, as Baltimore pushed him all the way up and down the field in January last year, let's at least give the young guy a chance, because maybe he won't.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe he won't. And, Cam, take a look across town. Sidney Crosby, 38 years old, top 10 in points. Do you hear him going whining and crying for more money?
Right.
This cat left so much money on the table so everyone else could make money and the team could win. Look at your own team's history. Big Ben left money on the table. Troy Polamalu has left
2 Super Bowl winners.
Yeah, Heinz Ward left money on the table.
Where's this team guy that he was complaining that Aaron Rodgers wasn't? Where's this
guy? Exactly. The hypocrisy. At least recognize you're a hypocrite. I know my hypocrisy knows no bounds, but I admit it. Admit your hypocrisy. Admit that, hey, I'm jealous and I'm seeing all these guys, all these new guys on my team who have no equity in the Steelers getting all this money. I've been here, the blood, sweat, and tears. Can you guys give me a pay bump? Can you take some of my money from next year for my roster bonus and make it guaranteed money this year? If not, okay, that's cool. I'll see you next year and we'll talk about it because, but no, just sit there, whine and cry to the media that you're not getting paid, that you don't feel valued. This team has valued you a ton, man. They signed you to like 3 extensions in your time here. They value you.
Mike, this was a post by Jared Kane. Mike, Jared Kane says, what's funny is Cam Heyward publicly called out Aaron Rodgers and specifically stated, if you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Cam Heyward is doing the complete opposite. You're a team captain. Your job is to be at practice every single day and lead by example. You are not leading by example. You're sending an awful message to the rest of the team by sitting out and threatening to miss games. You want to tarnish the legacy you worked your ass to build. You worked your ass off to build. Go for it. You're off to a great start. To think he's not valued as asinine. Mike, I just thought this was a brilliant post yesterday, and I said I have to read what it was said on it, Mike, because again, for all the this to be a Steeler, to be loyal to Aaron, blah 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 blah. Mike, again, it's a little different, but it's still a lot. I believe the same in a way, Mike, of the loyalty, be a captain. All these kind of things, that all falls into that category.
It does. And, the Steelers will take care of you if you're still being able to go out there and produce. They will take care of you. If they don't think you are, they'll tell you, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. We're going to cut you, or if you don't want to go play somewhere else, unfortunately, you can retire. Those are your 2 options. They're blunt and up front to the players about that. We've seen that, and I've seen that for 40 years here. They'll let them know, like, we're going to let you go. If you don't want that, you can retire. Those are the two options. Hey, if you're still playing well, yeah, we'll give you more money. This team, they're very transparent. Everyone knows how they operate. And to think that somehow you're different than everyone else who has walked through these hallways, you want to put yourself above Mean Joe Green? Go right ahead. The fan base is already turning on you. Try to separate yourself from the best of the best in this building. The whole town will turn against you because it's already starting to.
Absolutely. Let's get back to some messages. I see a bunch of amazing messages on the board, Mike. I don't want to miss out on anybody. Huge Ass Forever. Always great seeing you on the board, sir. Huge Ass says, this story breaks my heart. Poor Cam must be going through making ends meet on only $13 million a year. Kenneth says,
hey, man, after taxes and agent fees, that's only $7.
Kenneth says, when TJ was hurt for several games, year before last, Alex stepped up, but Cam didn't. I agree. Kenneth, until this past season, Cam looked like he was on his way down. He was certainly on the downside of his mountain. He had this good year out of nowhere. And again, if you could pull that out of your ass and do it anytime you want, as he's saying that he did, as they laughed at him in the office, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this because I'm going to have my all-pro season. Why didn't you do it every year? Why is it only whenever the money is listen, it's not like we give you $10 and if you do better, we give you millions. Brother, you got a lot of money in your bank account. And again, crazy. Corey Beaver says Cam is acting like a POS. He had all off season to ask for more money. Now our new DTs are showing now how easily we can phase him out. Let him walk. Who gives a fuck anymore? Jen says this. Jen says, I think Cam had to take that contract because he was coming off an injury. I'm okay with him asking for a new contract being an all-pro. I just don't like the public speaking. Corey says, on a positive note, I want to see KJ start this weekend with our starting O-line. They look so good. I do. I think we're going to see a lot more of the running game this weekend, rightfully so. I know the coaches. I know everybody wants to see what KJ can do on the field. Again, guys, just a couple weeks. We are just a few weeks, Mike, away from the start of the season. Still a lot to learn. 2 weeks from today, the roster goes down to 53 men. So, Mike, just 2 weeks. We have a lot of things to figure out. In 2 weeks, we have a joint practice on Thursday with Tampa Bay. We play Tampa Bay on Saturday night at 7 o'clock here at home. And then we play Carolina on the road. Following that will be a week off and then heading up to New York to get the season started off against the Jets. So we're right there, right at the doorstep, guys. Good morning to John. John on the board, my man. He says, again, that is why having emotional attachment to a stranger who is a paid entertainer is not healthy. In other words, F him. Kenneth says, Jen, he didn't have to take the deal, but he did. Huge Ass Forever says, Cam is jealous of TJ money, very childish. Tortilla says, yeah, good.
That tracks. Look, whenever there's any random arbitrary list of defensive lineman ranking, and if Cam's not in the top 3, he cries. He cries. He is a very jealous person. He's a very, what does everyone think about me? He's very insecure.
Yeah. I wish he was insecure about his playoff wins.
Oh, no, those don't matter.
Why would those matter? Tortilla says he's too old to be betting on his future. Good point. That's a very good point. Jen says, I understand Kenneth, but if he wanted to stay in Pittsburgh, he had to take that. One helmet guy played a big thing in signing that contract, in my opinion. I mean, the thing is, he has to adjust to the yearly. Listen, it resets every year. And he's sitting down with his agent and the Steelers, and nobody says, well, hey, maybe this time next year we'll handle this situation because of the increase, blah, blah, blah. No, he was fine. He took the money. He was happy. Again, we didn't hear anything about it until just recently. Not even a contract year. It's crazy, guys, in my opinion. Finchy says the next shirt on the 2 Dumb Yinzers store needs to say Franco retired a Seahawk. A Seahawks. John says Art's team, his choice. Let's see if he is weak in caves.
All my money is on caves.
Paleface over here says his money's on caves. Sticky B.
What you call me?
What you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says it's crazy to me the amount of money these players have, and it is never enough. Like, how much do you need? Stop being greedy.
Well, like, who was it? Mahomes signed that $250 million contract, and he's seeing all these other quarterbacks get paid more and more than him. You don't hear him asking for a new contract.
No, all he does is wins. That's all he focuses on, is being successful.
right?
Huge Ass Forever says, think TJ was overpaid too, but not my money. Of course he is. It's insane what these guys get paid at the end of the day. You know, I'm a football fan, and I'll argue this, and I'll argue the money and this and that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're the ones that have to cut into our bills sometimes to go make sure we can see these guys from week to week. So, again, a lot of times on the money situation, you just don't get that you don't get the bleeding heart from me. You just don't. You know, people work way too hard for their money. They leave their families behind. They put their lives. You know, you could get T-boned at a traffic light any given day. So again, you sacrifice every day to go out and make money just to pay your bills, and you got to turn around and give your hard-earned money if you like these guys and what they do, and you give it to them. No questions asked. We don't try to get you for deals or say, you know what, if you don't play good, don't give us some more money back. It doesn't work that way. Do what you do. Again, focus on winning. Again, if he focused on winning as much as Patrick Mahomes did, Mike, none of this would even be. No one would even care at this point if he's had the success that somebody like Mahomes has had. Nobody would even be having this argument, because who cares? We're winning, and you know what? Give the guys money. The playoff success is nil.
Yeah,
nil.
That would be different. Like with, you know, him and TJ. You know, win me some playoff games. You know, sniff a championship.
Yeah,
like you can't even sniff a playoff win, so let alone a championship.
Right.
That's the
defense.
You know, I'm all for, you know, football players getting their money. You know, that's, you know, you're in a field where you're bringing in billions of dollars and there's only so many of you. Yeah, maximize your revenue. But at a point, you got to understand, okay, the team's not going to pay you so much once you get to a certain age. They're like, no, you're an investment to them as a pro athlete. At 36 years old, they're not going to want to put a huge ton of money into you.
You're almost a liability at 37 years old. I mean, how many 40-year-olds do you want on this football team? Come on. The other 40-some-year-old Mike, the 43-year-old, he's going off to the Hall of Fame. He's getting a minimal paycheck because he wants to win football games. Yeah. You know, Cam, you talked about him not being a leader. You talked about him not said he's doing exactly what you said he wasn't, and you're doing exactly what you said that he was. So put that into perspective, guys. Back on the board, Huge Ass Forever says Cam really needs new seats for his private jet. Really feel bad for him trying to survive on $13 million a year. Again, you know, and I hate coming down on him. He's not been a bad guy, but again, like you can't expect top of everything if your defense lets up at least 40 points every time you enter a playoff game. It's just come on, dude. You win everything. That's a problem. We're getting nothing here. We're not getting anything out of this. We're getting your money, and you're not winning the game. So
sometimes in the sports world, you might be a top player at position, but guess what? You're going to be underpaid because it's just going to happen, and you move on. But you've been it'd be different if you were never well compensated, you know, comparatively to the NFL. You would have an argument. But you've been more than well compensated in NFL terms up to this point.
And you even get your dumpy little brother to come. You know what I mean? Who else gets their dumpy little brother to be on the team with you? I mean, it's almost like a dream come true in a sense, Mike, because you're getting everything. And come on, to say he's a top 3 defensive tackle in this league is it's wrong. It's not wrong, Mike.
Yeah, when you watch him game in, game out, snap after snap, he's not.
And then you watch Jalen Carter, you watch Sexy Dexy, you watch Jones, you watch Carter, 3 people right off the top that I say is better than Cam at this point in his career, Mike. All 3 of them play in, play out. They look like madmen coming off the defensive line when Cam, and again, almost 40 years old, does not look quite as...
I forget what game it was last year. The ball was snapped and he just fell forward out of his stance.
Yeah, I remember that.
I forget who on the board said it yesterday, but like it was cut Connor Heyward and give that $1.5 million to Bosworth. Or Boswell.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's say oops, lost my spot. Here we go. Huge Ass Forever says no, you know what? I'm on Tortilla. Tell him we'll give him a raise, but we're also cutting Connor to make him choose. I make it like the movie Saw, you know what I mean?
No, Cam would take the money.
I know he would.
Cam would take.
He would sacrifice that dumpy little brother of his in a minute. I promise you. Jen says hi. Finch, Huge Ass Forever. Maybe TJ can spread some cash around to help Cam with his financial troubles. Yeah, ask your buddies. You know, what do they tell you when you say I don't have any money? Well, ask somebody. You have to have family. Go ask your dumpy little brother. He got money. Richard, what's up, man? Richard says, I agree. Cam signed the deal. This is not Cam at 28 years old. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
This is Cam, who I barely even want on this team anymore at this point. He's just a solid piece. We're used to him. We know he's solid, and you pretty much know what you're going to get from him. So a lot of people here in Pittsburgh, we want to keep him around. But at the end of the day, YA Black, in my opinion, is the way to go. Go young, and you know what? You're kind of going all in. But you know what? A lot of this is the future of the team as well, Mike. Some of these players are young guys, and they're going to be a future here, and the future here. And again, Mike, YA Black could be a big part of that team moving forward. I like to see him. You know what? If he gets the snaps, he gets the reps, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Me too. Fuck it. At this point, if he, you don't want to be here. Just don't be here. Don't even show up to the practice facility. Just leave. Just leave. Always, because he doesn't want to get fined for not showing up.
John says players and agents know what the teams are getting each year. The average guy is even getting squeezed out of watching games at home because of multiple cable contracts needed. Now you need 15 streaming channels, so it's going to be more out of your pocket. Huge ass forever. Cam is delusional about his value. Yes, he is. And I've said this for a few years now. Not his whole career. I would have liked to see more playoff wins, obviously, during his tenure here, but the last couple years, I don't think that he played to his value at all. He's taking us for granted again. Jen says, why didn't YA Black play more in the preseason? Was he hurt? If he's hurt, that may make you know what? I don't think so.
No, he's not hurt now.
We do have some injuries we are going to go over here in just a second, but I think we're going to see a lot more of YA this weekend, Mike. Hopefully, again, who knows what we're going to see step out on the field Saturday, but again, these rookies, I think we're going to see them.
I think they liked what they saw from him in that limited action, and they were like, okay, we're going to shut him down the rest of the game and get some other guys in there to take a look at, because they played Derek Harmon well into the fourth quarter because they wanted to see more out of him, but I think they saw what they liked out of YA Black.
Tortilla says sometimes iron heads get a little too big. And I did. Listen, I don't dislike him. I never disliked his dad. I liked his dad. He was a Pitt guy. Again, this is ugly right now. We just went out and went all in. Everybody's excited. Everybody, Mike, finally accepted the fact that Aaron Rodgers is going to be here. He's going to be all right. Everyone's going to like him. Everything played out. And now this, I think this is more frustrating the fans than most things. Again, everybody's going to say, half the people are going to say, give him his money. The other half are going to say some of the things that we've said today on the show. But it is what it is, Mike, and we're ready for football. I don't want to care about if Cam Heyward is going to be in sweatpants on the sideline or if he's going to be out on the field falling straight forward. I don't want to have to care about that at this time. And I think that's where fans are, Mike. This was a fun off season. A lot of work was done in the meantime. A lot of money was figured out. A lot of business was done. For whatever reason, Cam's wasn't done in a timeful manner. So here we are dealing with it on the doorstep of the NFL football season. I think that is what's frustrating the people as well, Mike. I just think people don't want to have to deal with this right now. We're ready for football. We want our best product out there, and we want to try to win football games against other cities' best products. And I think it's just more of it's a pain in the ass more than anything at this point, Mike. I really do think that, because at the end of the day, his financials, my financials, your financials, Jen's financials, whatever the case may be, who cares? Everybody does what they do. But I think it comes down to the fact that, you know what, you make a lot, dude, and we're about to enter the season. We just don't want to have to hear you crying about not making enough money.
Mm-hmm. Here's an interesting thing, too. The Cam Heyward was drafted in 2011. Last Super Bowl that we won was right before that. So yeah, Cam Heyward's bad juju for the Steelers.
Ever since he's been here, we've done nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Huge Ass Forever says, I say no to Cam and yeah to a Black. YA to Black. Jen says, or I'm sorry, Kenneth says, Jen, but here is the insult the Steelers built. Tortilla says he has every right to ask, but if he sits out regular season games like he said he would, is dumb. He and his brother will be cut if so. Huge Ass Forever says Cam Captain Greedy Pants. John says fast food pays the NFL a lot of money to push their shit. Unhealthy food and drug companies pay just as much to sell the meds to fight fatness and unhealthy living right after the fast food spin. Coasterholic, my man on the board. Coasterholic says Cam is the perfect example of the phrase "do as I say, not as I do." At this point, I'm done with Cam. Tortilla says, cut Connor and give Cam the money we save. Here's your $400,000 raise. Welcome to the board, Wes Hatchett. Great to see you, sir. Wes says this. He says, you guys are 100% correct about Cam. And again, I get both sides, and I understand why the other side is going to say what they're going to say, and I get it. It's just, this is how I feel, I guess. Jen says, I love you all, but I disagree. His money is 21st in the league, and many of the guys in front of him are less valuable to their teams. Tortilla says, get him to do a couple Heinz commercials and call it a day. John says, Jen, that argument should have happened before Cam signed. His signature equals his mistake. Exactly. I mean, he's sitting down with smart people. There's agents around him. Nobody said this when he was doing his contract. Nobody said, hey, there's going to be the reset. We're going to have to put that into consideration. Again, if it did happen, we didn't hear anything about it until the guys were on the airplane going to Jacksonville to play a game. Again, something ain't right. There's just something about the situation that stinks. Corey says, did he try asking nicely for a raise? Pretty please, Mr. Khan. It's not fair.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Can I have some more shekels? Kenneth says, how about they just add a performance bonus to his contract? How about a non-performance? That's maybe something that we should start considering. The non-performance. Again, if you don't reach these numbers, they take away money. That never happens. Of course, Corey says, don't feel bad for him, Ryan. We're fed up. It's one thing after another with this team this offseason. We think we're done, and someone else starts bitching and crying. John says, NFL players are looking for third and fourth generation wealth because chances are their offspring won't be as lucky or successful. It's tough. It's they say 1% or whatever of the kids in high school make it to the NFL. It's true. Tortilla says he might be the 21st highest paid defensive tackle, but how many of those 20 guys in front of him are over 34 or 35? I mean, that's a good point too, guys. I agree.
None of them.
None of them are yeah, none of them, Mike. I agree.
Yeah,
give him a bumper, highest, guarantee more money, but come on, bro.
Yeah, the highest paid defensive lineman, or the oldest defensive lineman, is Calais Campbell, and he's not even close to Cam Heyward's contract.
Yeah, so there you go. Again, nobody, Mike. He's the closest to the AARP, and yet, again, how much money are you going to pass off to a 36-year-old that's not going to be here 2 seasons from now? Again, he doesn't do it for me anymore, Mike. Mm-mm. Again, we pushed Troy Polamalu out. We pushed Heinz Ward out, and yet he's special. We're going to give Cam all this money. The Marbeezy, welcome to the board. Great seeing you, Marbeezy. He says Cam made it known when he signed the contract that if the market explodes, he'll be back at the table. Tortilla says it's a pirate's life for me, mate. I can't sail the 7 networks no more. And then he follows it up by saying, on the bright side, we have the depth on the defensive line to play chicken. Yes, we do. We did go out and get that depth this year. So,
if Cam made it known at the contract signing that he'd be back, why'd he sign a multi-year deal?
Yeah, he did sign his name on the line for the multi-year deal. Again, I don't think Marbeezy's wrong, Mike, but I don't think you're wrong either. It's just a way of coming at it. And these are going to be the 2 arguments that you get from both sides, which I do respect both sides. So we are going to move on. But I do want to say, before we do that, guys, I spoke wrongly yesterday. The joint practice between the Buccaneers and the Steelers at Acrisure Stadium is not tomorrow. It is Thursday. I just didn't want anybody to be misinformed, Mike, because I got off the air yesterday and I looked. I said, why did I keep saying the 13th? It was the 14th written down in front of me. It was my mistake. I do apologize. But the Steelers, 1:55 today, here in about an hour and a half, will be kicking off their training camp practice in Latrobe. And on Thursday, the Buccaneers will be here for a joint practice at Acrisure, close to the public, before they do play Tampa Bay again on Saturday in their preseason game, 7 o'clock Saturday night. I want to get into some personnel issues here, Mike, some injuries, some things like that. But let me grab a couple of these last messages. Before I do that, we'll get back to them, of course. But Mark Malone, my man, Mark Malone on the board. Always great seeing Mr. Malone. He says Heinz couldn't play anymore, and Paulu was getting concussed to the point of being unethical to let him continue playing. Cam was an all-pro last year. He was an all-pro last year. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Lost another playoff game and didn't show up in that game.
But there's still, if you peel back the layers on it, it stinks. It's like an onion. The more you peel back the layers on Cam Heyward, the more it does stink. Topically, everything that you said is 100% correct, Mark. And I always respect your opinion. And I just, again, with Cam, it's more than that. When you put it into context, there's so much more to what's going on here, I think, than what the people just generally are. Oh, give him the money. Oh, whatever.
But when he says, I don't feel valued and I want to feel valued when they gave you another chance, when typically they would have let you go like Hines or Porter or Apollo.
You want to talk about not being valued? Show us your paycheck, Mike. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about you don't feel valued at your your $131 million you made while in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, everybody on the board, let's pull out our paychecks and see if it adds up anywhere close to what Cam Heyward made in his time. And he doesn't feel valued. He doesn't feel that we show up and put our asses in his seats to pay his bills every week. That's bullshit. It's bullshit, guys. Mark Malone says I would hook him up with a few extra million. And at the end of the day, it's not our money. We'll do what you got to do. Let's play football. But again, I'm fine without him at this point. And if he's on the sideline for 17 games this year, I'm fine with that because that's going to speak volumes on what happens next offseason. And again, we have the young guys, Mike. We went out and built depth on this team to move into the future. Again, we know that Cam Heyward isn't going to be here forever. But speaking of guys, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the and I hear you, Mark, and I know we want to win. I get it, brother. And the thing is that you want to put the best chance that you have to win on the field and do whatever it takes. And at the end of the day, you know what? It's not my money, so do whatever you got to take. But at the end of the day, I like these young guys, Mike. I like Y.A. Black. I want to see him play a lot more. And if he could step up the way they said that he could, guess who else? Jalen Carter played in his rookie season on that defensive line in Philadelphia. Yeah. He did just fine. If he's going to be the guy of the future, I have no problem with young Mr. Black playing on that defensive line this year.
Yeah, and it's funny. He signed a 2-year, $29 million contract extension last year. He signed 2 years. He signed for 2.
Does the word contract not mean anything?
They really don't in the NFL. But if you were betting on yourself, you would have signed a 1. A 1. Not a 2, a 1.
I disagree with you, Mike.
That's the thing right there. If you're betting on yourself and not hedging your bets, you would have signed a 1.
The contract is the legal document. Where you sign your name is what it's all about. And in my opinion,
then why are teams allowed to cut players then?
But you know what? Again, Mike, if we could have this whole conversation and I could have all the facts in front of me to give to you, and I don't have time. If you want to do it tomorrow, we could put it in a slot to do it. I have so much to go over. And again, I'm not really into having this debate because I don't care that much. I'm ready for football. And as a matter of fact, Mike, they mean something. Of course they mean something. Like when you sign your name to anything, it means something. But again, when, there's a lot of players, there's lawyers, there's agents, there's the league. It's $1 billion league. Shit happens. I don't understand, obviously. So I am going to continue on, grab a couple more of these, Mike. Mark Malone says, I hear you, but damn, we need them. John says the NFL is a legal version of crack cocaine and the business knows folks are hooked. You're right. Kenneth says the insult is that we've built the team to chase a Super Bowl before he leaves. And then Tortilla confirms and agrees with that.
He had prime Ben Bell in AB. The team has always been a Super Bowl contender when Cam's been here. It's just, since he's been here, they've never even sniffed it again.
So a couple of things, Mike, that did happen over the past day. Former Pittsburgh Steeler Terrell Edmunds, he signs with the Las Vegas Raiders. Of course, MJ Devonshire, who was in the secondary with the Raiders last year, goes to the Ravens. Mike, that opens up space for Terrell Edmunds. Terrell Edmunds will be playing with the Raiders this year. Also, the Steelers have been working out extra linebackers. They've been working out 2 to 3 linebackers. They worked out yesterday at camp, and they did release Mike DB Cam McCutcheon. He got injured in the game on Saturday night with the soft tissue injury with the hammy. He does get released, Mike. Also, they waived tight end DJ Thomas Jones, but they did sign a couple other guys that probably aren't going to be here in a couple weeks. Mickey Victor, Mike, he's a DB, and then also another tight end. They signed Kevin Folsch yesterday. That did happen. And then also, Mike, about injuries, here's something that got me. Okay, I want to get into this real quick as far as injuries goes. Darius Slay does not finish practice yesterday. Did you get any update on this injury, Mike? I tried to find information before I got on, and I didn't come across. What did you have on Darius Slay's
What I
injury?
saw, he rolled his ankle at one point. He was down for a little bit. He got up, walked off the field under his own power, and was walking. For reports, it looked like he was walking and jogging fine on the sidelines, and looks like he held out for precautionary reasons. Is what I saw as of yesterday. I haven't seen any update today. I don't think practice has started yet, but it looked like, hey, we're just gonna let Brandon Eccles take your snap so we can get a look at him, and you rest up. We don't want a chance of re-aggravating it that day.
Also, Calvin Austin III. Of course, he didn't play last week due to injury. He is still on a day-to-day. Mike, there's some curiosity going on because he's in a little bit of trouble, according to a subpoena I seen on court by the Baldwin police. Mike, Calvin Austin III is in a little bit of trouble with pit bulls, apparently. I don't know if I read this accurately, but perhaps his pit bull may have killed another person's domestic dog, is what I took from it. But Calvin Austin, as of right now, is in a little bit of legal trouble, Mike. Again, his pit bull, from what it seemed from the article I read, is killed another person's domestic pet, and he is going through the court process. I don't know if, again, Mike Tomlin says that it's a day-to-day injury. I don't know if these two issues are related, but we do know that those two things are going on right now as far as his legal battle with the Baldwin police in the borough of Baldwin, and also, Mike, the day-to-day by Mike Tomlin. So we'll see Saturday if he's on the field. And we know last week he was not on the field.
Yeah.
And one other injury story that I do have, Mike, is this. Alex Highsmith. This is something that I read about him. Alex Highsmith did a lot of strengthening this offseason to prevent groin injuries. Alex Smith, who's been out with a groin injury for 2 weeks, did a lot of strength training this offseason, Mike, to prevent groin injuries.
And then here he is with a groin injury.
Yeah, there we go.
So, you see, what you need to do, brother, is call up Yarmer Yager and get some of that peanut butter, and you rub it on the groin, and you're good to go. Huge ass. I was thinking the same thing, brother. That pit bull probably outweighed him by 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I wonder if he got one of Joey Porter's pit bulls. Remember back in the day when they got loose and they attacked the mini ponies? Killed his neighbor's mini ponies.
Yeah. I don't get these pit bulls, man. They're always eating somebody. I don't get it, but people dig, man. That's their thing. I guess you just gotta take a little bit more care of the situation if you do own them, because they always seem to be eating somebody else's shit. If they eat your things, and that's on you. But whenever they go out and start eating other people, I guess that's the problem here, Mike. But those are some of the up-to-the-date injuries and moves. Again, Terrell Edmonds, the Steeler draft. We drafted Terrell back in the day. Mike, was he our first-round pick?
He was. That was the year everyone, we drafted him, and then 5 years later now everyone's up in arms. Well, why didn't we draft Lamar at that time?
Yeah. So those are the up-to-date issues of that manner, Mike. Also, kind of in the middle here, just throwing it out there, the update is in Madden. The Madden best defense on Madden. If you like the John Madden football game, the video game, the best defense with a 91, Mike, is the Pittsburgh Steelers on Madden. So you throw Jalen Ramsey on a team, and you throw Darius Slay on a team, and you got TJ Watt. You just might get that spot again. Madden, the top defense on Madden football is 91, is the Steelers. So,
hey, we got that going for us, which is nice.
A few things going on during practice yesterday, Mike. Aaron Rodgers 2, Roman Wilson. He throws a nice touchdown in the 7-on-7s. Mike, also Pierre struggles on defense. Well, we're going to be talking more about this 53-man roster here over the next 2 weeks, obviously, as they cut down to the final 53 in 2 weeks from today at 4 p.m. on that Tuesday, Mike. This James Pierre, he's one that I'm thinking that, I always kind of thought he was an okay backup. He's in there, in situations where you don't necessarily. Does James Pierre make this team, Mike?
No. Go
ahead. Finish that.
No, I don't think he makes it out of that crowded secondary.
You're right. The secondary is too much, Mike. They brought in way too much talent this offseason and built that secondary. The Eccles and the obvious guys, and the whole way down the list, from your safeties, your corners, your Thornhills, your Chuckies, your Eccles, your Slay, Ramsey, I don't think there's any way in the world that James Pierre can survive with this group of DBs, Mike. He's gone. Who else, though? Who else do you see that's been on this team for the past couple years that is in jeopardy of not being on this team in 2 weeks?
DeMarvin Leal.
Mm.
I don't think he makes it. I would say Loudermilk, but I don't know what it is. He's that guy that they just don't want to get rid of. Like every team has that guy, and Loudermilk's that guy for the Steelers. Yeah, I just don't see them getting rid of him. He doesn't do anything at all for me. But I think he makes it.
Yeah, he had a costly penalty last game, if I'm not mistaken. Let me grab a couple of these messages, Mike, because they are funny. I could see the ones that I'm at the top are funny here. Let me start back here, though, a little bit. All right, so Tortilla says, I think Mike Tomlin said Slay's injury wasn't bad and should be back by week 1. John says, Super Bowl comments always send me back to the unbiased betting odds and percentages. They got us right around the middle of the pack, Mike. I know that in the Vegas gambling, whatever it is, it said like 2.8% or whatever that is that we have to go to the Super Bowl. But we were in the middle of the pack, though.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
We're I think right around 15 or 16 overall when it comes down to it. So let's see. Huge ass forever says Calvin Austin is smaller than most pit bulls. Yeah. Tortilla says Calvin's dog walks Calvin. That's a good one too. John says Highsmith's groins exercises included girlfriend and reverse cowgirl. And speaking of girlfriend, somebody just got married. Who was that? A Penguin or was that a Steeler, Mike? Somebody just got married.
I have no idea.
Couple of days. Must be. You know what? It was Zach Frazier that had the baby, and it was the Penguin that got married. And I also do want to throw out a happy birthday to Derek Moy, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, Penn State Nittany Lion, and Rochester Ram, right down the river here, was on the show earlier this year, as a matter of fact. He does have a birthday today. I do want to say happy birthday to Derek Moy. Corey Beaver says most pits are good dogs if they're trained properly. And that's the problem. I believe that. I just think that most people that have pit bulls don't, you got to really discipline these dogs. Obviously, I mean, you see what happens if they're not. And just like a weapon, it's in the wrong hands, it could be very dangerous. And look at all the other people outside of the owners that get bit by these things. I mean, you can always look back to that. They're aggressive. They can certainly be very aggressive. And if they're trained properly, I agree. He makes too much money to not have this dog trained. They're usually big teddy bears unless trained to be killers like that, from my experience.
Well, little Calvin needs protection. That's why he got a dog.
I have no problem with him having a dog.
He's 4'0".
And I have no problem with him having a pit bull. I'm just saying, if you got to have that, you got to take that responsibility if you're going to have a pit bull. That's a big responsibility. It's like having a kid. You have to really dedicate yourself to it. And if you're not going to invest yourself, don't get it, because again, it's the downside is bad. What if it kills a kid? What if it goes out and grabs a kid by the neck? I mean, that's some big problems, man. So again, you got to take care. Just like you would lock a gun away, you got to take care of your responsibilities. You got to protect yourself. What else do we got here, Mike? What else do we got here? Who else I liked, Mike, was that Keyshawn Williams. Does he make the team? Because now we're talking about an extra wide receiver. And you did even mention at the end of last week.
Yesterday.
Was it yesterday talking about maybe having carrying a 6 wide receiver? This Keyshawn Williams, he was impressive on Saturday.
Yeah, because he was one of their first undrafted guys that they signed. A smaller guy, like he was the undersized receiver out of Indiana, and that's one of the reasons he went undrafted was his size. He's another 5'9", $188 guy, but you saw him go up and make a play over that DB. Now I don't know that DB size, but he still went up and over. He made a play. He's shown that he's not afraid to make contested catches. He was been looking good in training camp as well. But yeah, I'm all for keeping 6 wide receivers because I think we can get by with one less linebacker or one less defensive lineman on the active roster or on the 53-man roster. I'd like to see more skilled players out there.
I do want to cut in, guys. This is technically the halftime portion of the show. I do want to say, I just want to update everybody. that the information I gave yesterday was incorrect. The Steelers do not have their inter-squad practice until Thursday. I kept saying Wednesday yesterday, so I just wanted to make sure nobody was, had misinformation. Thursday is the inter-squad practice between the Steelers and the Buccaneers before they play on Saturday, both at Acrisure Stadium. And Mike, the one on Thursday is behind closed doors. Nobody will be no fans. People like this will be involved. It's just a team. So I do want to keep reminding and putting that out there because I did give false information yesterday. It was totally accident. I apologize. Let me jump to Finch's message. Finch says, does Cam use the Steelers' 91 score from Madden as a bargaining chip?
He probably does.
Wouldn't that
he
be
probably
something?
walks in with his Madden rating, with his PFF grades,
With his copy of the video game in his hand.
with that one website that had him the number 2 player in the NFL. He walks in with that, goes, look, I'm better than the 2 quarterbacks that just went to the Super Bowl. Give me some money.
Let's see, what else do we got? What about Beanie Bishop? That's a good question, John. Beanie Bishop, Mike, in this packed defensive back room. Does Beanie Bishop survive in 2 weeks?
I think so. Just looking at the current depth chart, they have him as the number 2 nickel. They have Eccles as one of the outside guys.
Mike, I think that his production last year, what he was able to do as an undrafted last year, I think goes a long way. How many interceptions did the guy have? He did a bunch.
3 or 4, yeah.
As an undrafted, come on.
Yeah, I think he might make the roster. It's the Corey Trice injury is what sucks. I forgot about that. That might be how Pierre makes it onto the roster with Corey Trice being injured.
Yeah, does Corey Trice get cut, Mike?
If he can't be healthy, yeah.
We went through this before. We go through this with other players, Mike. They aren't healthy. They'll stick around. We'll make it happen. Is Corey Trice, is he worth enough to this team to keep him?
This would be his third chance with injuries to be kept around.
Yeah.
I don't know if they give him a third shot there, brother.
All right, interesting. Mark Malone, is Logan Lee still here? Did he go on IR again?
He's still here. Last I saw, he is not injured.
All right. Tortilla at Finch. Cam can just adjust his contract in Madden. Great messages today, guys. You guys are always kicking ass on the board. Aaron, here we go. Steelers. That's right, baby. Always great seeing Aaron Jade on the board. Welcome, sir. Mark Malone, they're just Terriers, man. Fucking wild. This is a good one here, guys. Aaron says dogs are just like their owners, just like children. Every single person has a pit bull in Florida. I've never heard anything. And you're right. If you go to the bad neighborhoods, you're going to see them getting in more trouble. These dogs, if they're not in bad neighborhoods, they're probably taken care of better. Again, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying it comes back to the owner. Your gun is as dangerous as the owner is, and I think there's a lot of things that are across that line there, or they go across that border. So that falls into that with me. Mark Malone says Dante Kent is still chilling, isn't he? Dante Kent, Mike, you like Dante Kent?
He's still there. He's not hurt, still practicing.
Kenneth says Pierre will bat down a ball in practice, but never in a game. He plays let them catch, and you know what it is? He's always seems like he's a step behind that Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
Always a step behind. Wild Herb Ways, welcome to the board. It's been a while since I've seen Wild Herb Ways. Wild Herb says Heyward diagnosed UPMC with early CTE. Must play Black Cam times 3, 14 million to 41 million to match White Want. Pay Cam for his wife and kids. Cal Austin, abdominal boxing. I don't know what I'm reading here. I got to be honest with you, Wild Herb. It's been a while since I've seen you, and I don't understand what's going on in this message, but thank you,
brother. Whatever you're drinking, I want some.
Yeah, I know. Whatever it is, and as long as it doesn't make Mike shit all over the bathrooms at the studio, well, that'll be appreciated. John says my female Chihuahua is the meanest dog I ever owned. I should have never named her after my ex. You know what? That's actually
should have.
That's actually hilarious.
That is good shit.
Hilarious, guys. What else do we got here? Mike Tomlin, Mike, he doesn't want to defend. He doesn't defend the Steelers' playoff drought. What was that all about? I pulled that up and I'd seen. Hold on, just let me look here real quick. Mark Malone says, yeah, CA3 has some kind of abdominal injury. Is that what his injury is? I did not know that, guys.
I didn't see that either. Good shit, guys.
No, good information. Absolutely. If he has
shit. Yeah, there it is. I just went to ESPN. It just popped up.
Oh, It's coming up now?
Yeah, I see it now. My bad.
All right. What's going on with that?
It just says mispractice recently due to an abdominal muscle injury. I did not see that today when I checked. Damn.
Okay.
Damn, I missed that. Good. This is why we have the best.
Absolutely, dude. Our board is
We're on top of shit.
And that's why I always say they're just as important as we are on this show. Very grateful for our board. Always got good information. Mike Tomlin comes out and says he doesn't want to defend a Steelers playoff drought. Mike Tomlin says he has no energy for non-losing season conversation, so he's not going to have any conversation to talk about or any energy to talk about the playoff drought. Mike, on the Pivot podcast recently, he did say this. Why would you defend yourself? Again, at some point, I would like to hear Mike Tomlin's take on these kind of things because kind of it's your team and you're kind of the boss, and I want to hear what you have to say. Just straight talk. Don't give me the Tomlinisms. Don't give me the. I at some point, Mike, and maybe it's going to be after he retires or walks away. I don't know what it's going to be if he will ever do it as a Steeler coach. Yeah. But at some point, I want to hear what he has to say without all the bullshit and all the politicizing and talking in circles. I want to hear Mike Tomlin's answer on what's your answer, brother, on these past 10 years on the lack of playoff success. I'd like to hear that. Is that such a bad thing to ask of the guy who's running the show?
Well, really not much to defend. Like, we lost. We sucked.
Well, I want to know what you got to say about it.
Yeah, we got our ass
you're
kicked.
taking
Really not much to defend.
Yeah, that's the narrative. But I want to hear I want to hear it out of his mouth. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth and see what his response is. I know what everybody else is saying. I know what they're going to turn around and say. But I'd like to see him sit down across somebody and just answer hard questions about his career coaching and these, because again, people will talk about his not losing record, Mike, and that's a good thing. I want to hear it on this other side a little bit, because again, we all know that this isn't a perfect team. Yeah. We know he's not a perfect coach. We know that we're not perfect people. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, his opinion on those things over the years, the lack of playoff success, Mike, and not only the lack of playoff success, the terrible playoff performances by this football team. Are we just not prepared? I want to hear that from him. That's all. Come on. Again, these guys make a lot of money. At some point, maybe we could, hold them responsible, ask them, some hard questions. That's all. They're grown men. They should be able to handle it. Mark Malone says, yes, CA3 has some kind of abdominal injury per Alan Saunders. I'm sorry. Mark Malone says, I don't even need sources. I just huff paint.
Hell yeah, brother.
John says CA3 pulled a stomach muscle lifting his gym bag. Probably trying to drag that dog off of somebody. John says the NFL coaching and schemes evolved and Tomlin hasn't. Fact, I think we could agree on that to some levels for sure, guys. Another thing, Mike, another thing that was said this week about building this team that come out of Coach Tomlin's mouth was they were looking for players with the winner trait. The winner trait. What players were you looking for up until this year? That's all I'm saying. Right. Come on, that's what I'm saying. With the double talk, the funny, the Tomlinisms, the things that get you off conversation. Why or just now did we come up with this thought process to go after somebody with the winner trait?
I don't know. Let's not get dramatic. It's a loss. Let's not get dramatic.
It's a loss. Let's not get dramatic. I'm sorry. I got nothing, dude. You're right.
No.
Why? Again, it's one of those things, like, in your head, you know what you mean. When you say it, it does not come out the way you want it to come out. Like, so don't even say it.
Yeah.
You know what you mean. Like, you want to get guys who come from winning organizations, who know how to win, who've been there, done that. But that, implies, like, oh, we're just taking players who don't like to win or don't know how to win.
Let me ask you something. If Mike Tomlin wasn't a DB coach on the Tampa Bay Super Bowl team back in 2003, if Mike Tomlin wasn't a defensive coach, again, he kind of came in with a pedigree. And at that point, he really didn't run the show for a lot of things, Mike. He wasn't the main guy in the defense. He wasn't in Tampa Bay. But again, listen, this isn't a Tomlin bashing show. It's not what this is about. It just kind of went that direction. I do want to say this, though, guys. Let me grab tortilla here real quick. or John says drama trait. Tortilla says Tomlin talked about that with Ryan Clark recently, trying to be changed with the times, but also sticking to what he's good at. Also, Mike, ESPN ranks the Steelers 22nd in future power rankings. This is from ESPN. They're ranked 22nd in future power rankings and predicts the team has a full teardown by 2027. Mike, as ESPN, does this make any sense to you? Does this sound like it could be accurate, Mike? 22nd in the future power rankings, and they predict a full teardown of the team by 2027.
Let's see, 2027. Let me go here. I'm going to the contracts here. We still have TJ Watt, DK Metcalf, Highsmith, Allen, or Jalen Ramsey.
Mike, is this going to be?
I don't know.
My only question is this. Hold on. But hold on. I think you're missing the point. Is it going to be a point where we're going to have to be, paying these guys their big, ends of their contracts, and maybe we start losing out on other spots, other positions, where we have to find other ways to pay other guys? Is that possibly what it's referring to, Mike? We have a lot of big names right now, and in 2 years we're going to be paying out some money.
Yeah, I'm looking at going. I just pulled up their cap look for 2027, and as of right now, guys that are on the roster, they from this roster to that roster, they have about 28 guys. That even includes guys who might not even make the roster right now. They have $217 million in cap space, so they would have going into that year. Even when they sign guys next year to contracts that move over, blah, 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 they're still going to have a lot of money left over. And they're still going to have guys that are still in good cap situations and in good guys that should be hitting their primes, like Joey Porter, Fatanu, Zach Frazier, Roman Wilson, hopefully. They have guys by 2027 that should be entering their peak, and guys still on rookie contracts, and that's not even factoring in what we're going to get in the 2026 draft class and in the 2027 draft class. So no, I don't buy that at all.
John says Julian Edelman constantly makes fun of the Steelers and their lack of adaptation and how easy it is to beat them. And boy, if there's anybody to beat us easily, it was surely them New England Patriots. They did it every time they played us for damn near 2 decades. And you know what? I don't think that many people would disagree. Why we don't make a lot of these adjustments that are made around the league, I don't know. I don't know. Do we not see them? And if we see them, we don't make them. And is that doing your best job? I don't know. Again, but again, I've heard this from Julian Edelman and other players around the league. But on the same token, Mike, put Julian Edelman on the Browns, and let's see if it's so easy for him to beat the Steelers.
Exactly.
When you have the GOAT, you have the best quarterback of all time on your team, and of course, it's debatable about Belichick and his. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's a lot different if you're on that team compared to the Browns. Yes, they did have us figured out. Yes, they did have the GOAT, and but I see this often, Mike. It's not Julian Edelman's not the only person that says this about the Steelers, and I don't think it would be fair to say that he's wrong.
No,
Tortilla says, yup, it's a double-edged sword. We need to adapt, but at the same time, the pride the Steelers have won't let them change what they are good at, and it hurts them more often than not. And I think that just kind of goes in line what we're saying. Mike, last week I didn't really ask for specifics. A couple times throughout the week, we talked about who it was that you want to see in the game against Jacksonville. Which player really stands out to you? Who is it this week, Mike? Who do you want to see? Knowing what you already know about the team, what you already seen in Jacksonville, playing a different Florida team this week, who can you not wait to see this week play football in Pittsburgh against the Buccaneers?
Wyatt Black, I want to see him continue to evolve. He's one, and then back on offense, Max Hurleman, who's just was a Swiss Army knife they used, and Keshawn Williams. I want to see if those 3 guys can continue to build on what they had.
Yeah, Keshawn Williams.
A couple guys at the end of the roster.
Yeah. Keshawn Williams, Mike, again, I think he's going to make it interesting. I don't think he's taking anybody's spots, but he is fighting. He's fighting for a spot, and they may carry an extra wide receiver because of him, Mike. Also, Jack Sawyer. He's somebody that I didn't mention last week, and then I seen him play, and I thought, I got to pay more attention to Jack. He did well. He was solid. Again, I want to see Peyton Wilson, especially if he's out there belly-to-belly suplexing guys. Again, these guys, Mike, on defense, they're really setting the tone for that defense. And going out and belly-belly suplexing somebody, and Jalen Ramsey, the way he's being a leader, it's hard to think that this defense is not going to excel this year. As far as Juan Thornhill saying it could be the best defense ever, I don't know about that. But at the end of the day, this could be a defense that could be a force to be reckoned with, Mike, in the NFL. So, again, these guys on defense, Peyton Wilson, Jack Sawyer, whoever, if a starter plays that has never played here before, I'm going to be thrilled to see them play, of course. You know, I would love to see Jalen or whoever, because we haven't seen him in our Steeler uniform playing yet. But on offense, Mike, Caleb Williams, obviously. I want to see some more of Darnell Washington, man. Darnell,
right?
At this point, he's going to be fun in the red zone, goal line. He's going to be. Who gets the most touchdowns between the tight ends this year, Mike?
That's
good luck trying to figure that out.
I know, right? Like, I know someone. I was getting a Twitter beef with someone. They're like, if Washington doesn't have 10 touchdowns, then this team's an idiot. This team's stupid. Like, you got Washington, DK Metcalf. How many other wide receivers, how many other tight ends? The ball is going to get spread around. It's hard to gauge of who's going to have what. And you can say, oh, this guy only had 4 touchdowns. But look, yeah, he had 4, he had 5, he had 6, he had 7. Next thing you know, you count it up, you have like 35 passing touchdowns. Like, holy shit, we spread the ball out. So that's hard to gauge. Potentially with this offense, the way we were seeing the ball spread around, like 18 guys cut a pass last week. That's insane.
I'm seeing some interesting names. Let me get a couple here. John says changing with the times, would mean hiring and paying for brilliant, innovative ACs, allowing them to do their thing with no micromanagement, with Tomlin using his emotional intelligence to motivate. And then into some of the players, Mike, people were saying they want to see Rock Taylor, they want to see Caleb Johnson, Castro, Mad Max, certainly becoming a favorite here, Killebrew.
Dante
Kent. Could be some core special teamers for years to come. Tortilla says got to be Jonnu because of his RAC, of course, talking about the touchdowns for tight ends. Who else? As far as people I want to see, I want to see everybody. That's the thing. When I sit them down and think about it, it's hard to say.
I know there's a lot of guys I want to watch.
I know.
You can't just mark it down to like one guy, 2 guys.
I want to see what Skylar Thompson does again. I mean, this guy who's not even any relevance to the season. I want to see if he could what he can bring to the table next week.
Mason Rudolph
again, and this is this Tampa Bay team in theory is better than Jacksonville. So, I don't know what we're getting as far as starters and non-starters, but it should be a pretty good test for these young guys. Again, Wyatt Black, people are saying him. I can't wait to see him, Mike. Derek Harmon.
Yeah.
Again, it's really hard, and people, kind of gave me shit last week. They said, "Well, why didn't you? You guys didn't have who you." I want to see everybody. I don't know. I don't. I want to see everybody for different reasons, and the offensive line. Mike,
that's what I was about to say. The entire offensive line, from first and second team offensive line, because Tampa Bay has a good D line and linebacking core. I want to see what they can do.
There's no one person in particular. And if there was, I would tell you, you'd hear about it ample times throughout the week. I want to see all these guys. Corey says this. Corey says I don't want to hear Tomlin talk about the past playoff losses. It's all excuses at this point. Maybe we'll just piss us off even more if we did hear. But again, at the end of the day, I at least I want to hear it come from the horse's mouth. That's all. That's just me. It's a me thing. Who else? The punters, Mike, between Waitman and Johnston. I want to see that. I want to see the return game. I want to see everything. There's nothing I don't want to see for this football team, Mike. There's so much young talent right now. And again, if we get a chance to see some starters, I want to see some of these guys who are wearing brand new uniforms this year and get a look at them guys in our black and gold.
Yeah, me too. I just kind of want to see everyone of consequence.
Absolutely. John says Reed will call games where more than 9 players get targets. He spreads the wealth depending on the situation. Brilliance. And Mike, you did say yesterday we threw the ball to 18 different people. Granted, it's a different kind of game. I mean, you have a million different kids coming in. A lot of guys won't even be on this team in a couple of weeks. But for what it's worth, we did hit 18 different targets. Was that what you said
Yeah,
yesterday.
like
Mike?
18, 19, somewhere in that range. And like towards the end of Ben's career, that he had games like that too, where you look down the stat sheet, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys are getting targets. The ball is getting spread around, and we were able to move the ball up and down the field. And that's another way to keep defenses, on their toes, is you don't know what part of the defense you're going to attack. And
Absolutely.
I like that. And real quick, back in practice yesterday, they were hitting a lot of deep passes. They were working on that, and they were like contested catches too, watching the videos to match up with what I was reading too. So it wasn't like the defense was letting these guys make these plays. They were making some plays. So that's encouraging too.
Vegas, TJ, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Vegas on the board, my man. How's everything going on in Vegas, sir? So that's what's going on, guys. I just want to say one more time, I don't want to leave anybody in the blue here. The inter squad game is on Thursday. I announced yesterday that it was Wednesday. It is not Wednesday. The Steelers do within the hour start their practice at Latrobe today, and then Thursday they have an inter squad practice with Tampa Bay before playing Tampa Bay on Saturday. The practice on Thursday is closed to the public, but the information that I gave yesterday was incorrect. It's Thursday. They are playing. They are having the inter squad practice with Tampa Bay. Corey says, do you think we've seen enough yet from our wide receivers to not trade for one? Because Hill is on the. You know what? I almost forgot to mention this, but did anybody see that we were reaching out and inquiring about Tyreek Hill, guys? I seen it yesterday. This came out yesterday, Mike. This information, look it up for me, because I want to know if it's accurate, how accurate it is, and if what went beyond that. Yes, I did see this, Corey. I didn't write it in my notes because I only seen it once. Usually I have to see it a couple times before I do write it down. But I did see at some point, Mike, yesterday that we reached out to Miami inquiring about Tyreek Hill. So if you have that pulled up, Mike, let me know what you can find out. Corey Beaver says, because Hill is on the block, from what I've heard, he won't last long. He won't. Somebody's going to snatch him up, Mike. If you could find anything on that, do let me know. John says Vegas is extremely hot and not much outside activity right now. I can imagine. And also Vegas says supposed to be 112 today. And the price of the A's stadium went up for a third time since it was announced last month due to tariffs, according to the owner, who has been looking for investors. Geez, oh man. 112 degrees. I thought it's humid here, and the humidity is what gets us here in Pittsburgh. But man, 112 degrees at the end of the day is a hot ass day, no matter where you're at. Mike, do you see anything?
So what I'm seeing is it's like, there's rumors that he is on the block, and
Right.
So Adam Fowler from ESPN came
Yes.
up, like he listed like 4 teams that could potentially snag him, and he came up with what he thought would be fair trades, and he had Steelers get Tyreek, Dolphins get 2026 4th and 7th round picks, and Nick Herbig. You had me at Nick Herbig, and that's a big negative.
Why don't we just give him Cam Heyward? He's such a great tackle. He's Mike. He's one of the best. Why wouldn't they run and just to run and have this guy? I mean, come on. If he's one of the best tackles in the league, you would think that this would be something that makes sense. But of course, this makes sense to nobody, because at 37 years old, it's insane. It's insane. It's insane. He wants top tackle money at 37. This is when you're kind of
But no, I'm not trading Nick Herbig to get Tyreek Hill.
RB, my man, what's up? Always great seeing RB on the board. RB says trade him, Cam. Fuck Cam.
I like it.
Great seeing you, my man. Great seeing everybody on the board today. Greedy dumb prick is where RB is going. He's hit the ground running this morning. Nice to see you, brother.
He's coming in hot like a meth needle in the first of the month.
He is coming. He's yes, he is. Good morning. Good afternoon.
New T-shirt idea for the 2 Dumb Yinzers.
Whatever it is now, I do believe it is afternoon. But yes, Mike. So Jake the Snake Roberts will be in town. If you are not at home watching, or the bar, or friends, or wherever you may go to watch the Steelers play on Saturday night, you can make your way over to Highmark Stadium, where the Pittsburgh Riverhounds will be playing. Mike, they're taking on the Charleston Battery. But this is something that's been it's been booked for months. I seen this 6 months ago. Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be doing a meet and greet, Mike, at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds soccer game this Saturday. Jake the Snake Roberts. If the Steelers weren't playing, Mike, I just might go down to meet Jake the Snake Roberts. But it's the exact same time the Steelers are kicking off Saturday. So I'm never going to meet Jake the Snake Roberts.
I'm surprised he's still alive.
You know what, the documentary that you've seen that I think that you're referring to, that's about 20 some years old. So that just goes to show you what kind of shape is Jake the Snake in now.
Well, you know, he Diamond Dallas Page, man, got him hooked on DDP yoga and got him back on the right track.
Yeah. Vegas said, Jake, I wonder how many people thought that snake, the snake biting Macho Man was fake too. Man, I love that era. That was when I was a kid. I was growing up with Jake the Snake, man, and a big wrestling fan as a kid, as most kids are. Most young men, most young, boys love wrestling. I was no different. RB says, I've been built up from this BS and shit going on here. He follows it up by saying, also, fuck Boswell too. Don't pull this shit in August. I take him down and ask him to hit from 70. And when he can't, ask why he needs a little bit more, why he needs more than a little. You know what? And we do have a Ben Sauls, Mike, who hit, what did he just win? He won a home run contest.
Yeah.
I guess the Ben Sauls from the Pitt graduate, the backup kicker, who's going to be a good kicker in this league somewhere else. But Mike, he won a home run contest. I don't know what this was. This amongst the team at the camp, or what was this?
I don't know. I saw it too, and I just kind of like, oh, that's cool, and scrolled on. I didn't think you'd ask me about it.
Same, and if it wasn't even brought up to this capacity, I would have forgotten all about it, Mike. But yes, I know. Vegas says DDP is helping Lex walk again. Boy, Lex looks weird. I don't know if anybody's seen him lately, Lex Luger, but he's real tiny now. It just seems so weird, man. Again, growing up through the 90s, seeing these guys, seeing Lex Luger look that way is weird. Aaron J said the British Bulldogs. Absolutely, man. All these names takes me back. Nostalgia. Mike, also the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're back at it today. They lost to the Brewers last night 7-1. They're back with their 51-69 record, taking on the Brewers today in game 2 of 3. This is a 7:40 start. Paul Skeens is on the hill. That's right. It is a Skeens day. Skeens with only a 1.94 ERA and his 162 strikeouts on the season will be facing Freddie Peralta tonight in game 2 of this series with Milwaukee. Also, Mike, I just wanted to say the update. That's again, the in-house practice, the inter-squad is Thursday with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, I said yesterday was Wednesday. There's an inter-squad practice with Tampa Thursday at Acrisure Stadium. No crowd invited, and that is just 2 days before they take on Tampa Bay on Saturday night. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The Yinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. We got over there. Ryan and I's social media links are all over there. We got the merch store, which might have some new designs. People are giving me some good ideas. And the Dumb Thought blog will be returning shortly. So here we go. Check it out at the2dumbyinzers.com.
Again, the final roster cut down to 53 guys is on the 27th of this month. It is 2 weeks. So we got 2 weeks to get a look at what we got. Again, Tampa Bay Saturday, Carolina next week, the week off, and then it's go time against the Jets. Guys, let's get into the Steeler trivia question of the day, Mike. We're doing a little practice for regular season. This is how well do you know your opponent? We're getting in the rhythm. So this is going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers trivia question, guys. Here we go. Mike, put on your thinking caps. Everybody on the board. This is the question of the day. Here we go. Who is Tampa Bay's all-time passing leader? Who is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all-time passing leader? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. Again, guys, who is Tampa Bay's, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Who's their all-time passing leader? Think that over, guys. Let me grab a couple of these messages right here. Vegas says the women wrestlers are way hotter in the 2000s. Oh, absolutely. The thing was, like, it's they're all so hot now. They're all hot. All the women wrestlers were hot in the early 2000s, and but back in the day, they just weren't. That wasn't the focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they can all wrestle now too. They're hot and they're athletic.
Absolutely. I remember Miss Hancock, Stacy Keebler. I liked her at the tournament. But now my girl is Liv. Who do I like, Mike? Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan.
I love Liv Morgan.
I got to keep track of all Ryan's crushes in every sport.
John says Kenny Pickett won the softball home run contest too. Let's see what that got him. Vegas is saying Brooks. RB is saying Jameis Winston. Aaron Jade is saying Winston. John is saying Brad Johnson, who did win a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. RB says if you want to see a great DDP story, watch Butterbean. Dude is a warrior. All right, we'll check that out. So, Mike, I got about 3 different people. I got Brooks, I got Johnson, I got Jameis Winston. Where are you leading, Mike?
There's a lot of good answers. Like, those all pop through my head. So, like Baker Mayfield, even though he hasn't been there that long, it feels like he's been there a while and done them up. Vinny Testaverde from back in the day too. But Jameis was, just throwing the ball down there and hoping the Lord would deliver him from pick sixes. I'm going to go with Jameis Winston.
Mike Glennon, Steve Young off the bench. There's a lot of good guesses, guys. Brooks was my pre-question being answered. Answers clearly not Derek Brooks. I wasn't catching that it was Derek. All right, my fault. Yeah. Vegas. So, Mike, there's a lot of different options here. Corey says I didn't know Tampa Bay had a passing leader. I thought they were all fighting for most interceptions. And there's even quarterbacks' names that you haven't said that I could think of that were really good. So, are you going to stick with Jameis Winston?
I'm sticking with Jameis. What in doubt goes Jameis Winston.
All right. How long was he there, Mike?
I have no idea.
4 years. All right. Yes. Also, John says female wrestlers. If today's female wrestlers gets one in her bedroom, she will win 2 to 3 falls. What? Gets one in her bedroom. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions is crazy. It's Winston. That's crazy. Jeff Garcia.
Ooh, there's a good one.
Jeff Garcia. The answer, guys, who is the all-time passing leader for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys, with 19,737 yards in his 4-year tenure between 2015 and 2019. It was Jameis Winston, which in my opinion is kind of crazy because they had a lot of pretty, as you're seeing different names over time, the Sean King early on, the Trent Dilfer in the late 90s, did some good things there. And again, Tom Brady, I mean, for the little bit of time he was there, he certainly passed a lot of people on that list. Yeah. So again, kind of crazy, but yes, Jameis Winston is the answer with 19,737 yards between 2015 and 2019. And then Mike X's out of the page. Why the clicking, Mike? Anytime I'm disqualifying you from now on if I hear clicking during the trivia. Every day. I
already had put my answer in. I'm allowed to click once.
But now you're clicking out. Answer. No, now you're clicking out.
No,
so
I'm clicking in.
This is a calculated way of deceiving us.
I clicked in Twitter. I clicked out of Twitter.
I want the camera on the screen every day.
In the Twitter?
No, that doesn't matter. I don't.
So we need it like I'm a Twitch streamer playing Call of Duty and I'm cheating. I need anti-cheat.
Yes, exactly. Don't make it sound like it's a crazy thing. This is what's going on.
It's really not.
And I have to catch you.
I think one time I Googled it. It was to see if I got the answer right. I knew I was
One
wrong.
time you Googled it. Yeah. Mike, we've done 790 shows. You're going to tell me one time you looked at the answer?
Yeah.
I call bullshit.
I gave my answer.
I call bullshit on that so hard. Guys, Jameis Winston has the interception record too, I bet John is saying. Mike,
I would Google it, John, but I'm not allowed, brother.
Well, now you are.
Nope,
now nobody's asking you a trivia. See, this is what he does, and then he plays this. He goes, nope.
I'm doing hey, argumentum ad absurdum, brother.
790 shows. I'm on to you. I'm on to you, mister.
It only took you 789 to get on.
It took me 3. And you thought that you've been pulling one over on me for years, but we know when them buttons start clicking. I don't hear buttons clicking until the trivia every time. It's insane. It's crazy coincidence. The coincidences. Mike, hands up when answering it. That is going to be the new rule.
I'm going to get me some Google lenses, and then I can Google it.
I want to see. You need to get the mirror lenses so we can see what it is that you're doing in front of you. Is what we need to do. Mike, we're going to start getting ready to wrap things up, brother. We are only about a about 40 minutes. We're about 40 minutes from camp today, from practice again, and then they'll be hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday for an inter-squad practice not open to the public, and then they will be playing again, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Saturday night at 10 o'clock in their second preseason game. Mike, Vinny Testaverde, 112 interceptions from 87 to 92 is what Vegas is saying on the board. Well, that's a lot of interceptions for 5 years.
Yeah. That's insane.
Winston at 88. Jeez. Yeah, Mike, anything before we do start getting ready to wrap things up for today?
Fuck Cam Heyward. That's literally all I got.
Yeah, in case you joined in late, it was a lot of Cam Heyward early on in the show today. A lot of opinions about what's going on with Cam's situation, and we are heading into, guys, we touched on injuries. We touched on a couple new additions, Mike, no key, but we also found out, Mike, about Calvin Austin's abdominal injury, which I did not know was an ab injury. But until this morning, Mike Tomlin was saying he was on a day-to-day. So I don't know if that changed since they identified what the injury was. I don't know if anything else had changed. Again, I found out, just as you did here on the show, guys, about the injury. Corey says, I don't care if Rodgers plays Saturday for safety reasons, but I want to see DK play a series. Absolutely. I would love to see all these starters play at least a series just to get a look at them. You know, I think that's logical. I think that I don't know. I don't think we're out of line for wanting to see these football players play football. Thank you, Aaron. Greatly appreciated as always, sir. Thank you, John. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with us today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Believe me, we really wouldn't. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show, and everybody at home, whether you be in the car, whether you be at the gym, whether you got your earbuds in, or you're just watching on your TV in your living room. Thank you too. Vegas says Omar is going to give Cam $6 million from his non-guaranteed $12 million roster bonus next year, is what I've heard, which will put him in the top 5 DL salary. I'm sorry. And Vegas also says, have a great day. Thank you, Vegas. Always great seeing you, sir. Mike, what else? What am I forgetting? If you haven't had a chance, go check us out on social media. You can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, Threads, and TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button. Keep up with us on a day-to-day basis. And if you hadn't yet, guys, hit the like, the share, and the sub button down below. It helps us out a lot. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody, for everything and all your support, as always, guys. Mike, we are getting ready to wrap things up. You and little man, want to say anything before we go, buddy? What else, Mike?
Hello.
Already doing better than Mike. I like it.
He's ready to take my place, brother.
Vegas says, peace, little thunder. And then also, what's this last one say? Hand purple, blue piece.
It's the emojis, and they're not coming through.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
They certainly have a different meaning whenever it's just a word, don't they? Mike, anything before we wrap it up, brother? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
So thank you, everyone. It was a great show.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. Everybody have a great Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We hope to see everybody then. For Mike, for Little Thunder over there, myself, the two dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great Tuesday. See you in the morning. Bye-bye.